just as a quick recap, lighting basically are microscopic photons that are emitted by a light source. It can be a sun, it can be a light bulb, or a rectangular light, or maybe emissive material.
Mm.
And basically, just photons that are bouncing on surfaces and lighting up a surface. Now, let's see if you can remember, Leslie, by head, the different types of lighting modes that we can do within Unreal Engine.
Mm.
So, tell me,
Uh, Lumen, Path
okay?
Tracer, Ray
Okay,
Tracer,
path tracer, ray tracer.
Bake.
Sorry,
Is Bake considered?
what is big?
Bake, Bake
Ah,
lighting.
bake, yes. Now, for the baked light, which two methods are available within Unreal?
CPU and GPU.
Correct. So, yesterday we were going over building the light using only the CPU.
Mm.
So, let's go ahead and go to Unreal and finish the explanation for the CPU because in today's objectives, we are going to cover the following topics. So, the types of light components, which we have already covered actually, like rectangular light, point light, directional light. The modes of lighting, these are the different modes.
Mm.
Reflections, which is what we didn't talk about yesterday. Importance volume, which we haven't covered either, and light maps, which we have covered. Is a light map required? Yes or no?
Yes.
In which channel is the light map?
Usually two.
Okay, correct.
The second, yeah.
In the second channel. All right, so if we open up our level, which was the lighting level, what we did is we just added four cubes here. We added a point light in static mode. Otherwise, the baking will not work if it's not in static mode. And then we just build the light this way. Can you tell me why this shadow isn't so crisp?
Uh, Subdivision?
No?
No, I forgot.
I'll give
Yeah.
you a hint. I'm going to click Alt 0 to access the light map density mode, and it's related to the light map basically. Whenever you have bad shadows like here, it means that either the light map is not well done, meaning that it's not occupying the whole UDIN, or it means that we build the quality in very low quality. So here we built in preview, but let's see what happens if we build in high.
Lighting quality.
Okay, let's see if there's actually a lot of difference. Let's try. Build light only. We can also access the swarm agent to see how everything is being calculated. So we can see here that the processing mapping is taking 12.5 seconds. So
So build
now
like
I built in high quality, but still this shadow is not good quality. And the reason for this is because the light map of this cube is very bad. In fact, if we open up the light map, so we open up the mesh with Control E, and we have a look at the UV channel number 1, this is the light map, but all this space is being wasted. So like 60% of the quality is being wasted. 60% of the UDIN, this is called UDIN, is being wasted. So we need to do something about it. What we can do is we can either assign the UV light map to be the channel number 0, which is the texture channel, okay? But still, it technically wouldn't be correct because this this cube has 6 faces, and here I only see 4. So
Yeah.
there's an option that says generate light. Okay, so I just pressed here generate light map UV. I check this option, and I'm gonna click apply changes. Okay, so now we can see that it has created a new channel, a UV channel 2, which is this one. So this is the light map it created. But
Still,
still, it's losing a lot of it. Not as much as here, okay, but it's better. So let's do an experiment. Let's try to do a light build and see if the quality gets better, which it should get like 20% better. Let's do the experiment. So to assign the index of the light map to be channel number 2, we need to go here where it says destination light map index and make sure that this is set to 2, which it is. So now let's save the file, close it, and build again the light. In fact, since we did this change, it's already telling us, hey, you need to rebuild the light because you have changed channels. So let's try to build the light. Now that I've built the light, okay, it got a bit better. We can see it got a bit better, but not that better.
less tessellation.
So what can we do to make this better? Well, there is a component that is called Lightmass Importance Volume. Okay, and this was in the presentation, one of the elements that we're going to learn. And this is Lightmass Importance Volume controls the area that the lightmass emits photons in, allowing you to concentrate it on the area that needs detailed indirect lighting. So basically, in other words, this volume is going to increase the quality the of the shadows and the lights in the area where you selected. Okay, this is what it's going to do.
It's like a volume process.
Yes, and also helps with indirect lighting, which right now we don't have a lot of indirect lighting, but let's see if actually something changes. So now the photons that we were talking about before are concentrated in this area rather than outside. So this is good for optimization also. If you want to decide where to concentrate the best quality, then you put this volume here. And remember that any actor that you add on your scene, you have on the details information about that actor. So I just pressed on the Lightmass Importance Volume, and here we have like information on like the scale, um, if it's hollow, if it's a box or like a cone, and so on. Okay, which to be honest, I never really played with these settings a lot, but just to know. Okay, so let's do another build. I built the light with the light mass, and okay, it got a bit better still, but
Yeah.
we're still not gonna get the best quality until we make a light map like we should. So, what happens now if I add an element in the scene, like a cube? Then this message is gonna pop up telling us that the lighting needs to be rebuilt. So every object that
Like,
you add, you need to rebuild the light. Otherwise, you're not gonna have like shadows. But you need to build the light after you have placed all of the assets, obviously, not bake.
even material change like that.
Yes, material, yes. You know why? Look, you will see why. Imagine that right now the walls are white. So the light that's being bounced, it's white.
Mm.
But what happens if I change the color of this cube to something like red. Okay, this red material. Okay, but this has some emissiveness also, so let me take out the emissiveness, and that's it. Actually, wait, this is not good. I just close. I'm just going to put hold 4 left click to create a vector 4, and with the vector 4 now you can select a color here. So I'm going to choose red, for example, and click apply. Okay, so here we have a red wall. Now, as you can see, right now it's not telling me to bake the light, although I changed the material.
Mm.
And this is a problem because the color of the wall does affect the bounce of photons. And as you can see, it's not red here.
Yeah, yeah,
So we need to rebuild the light. Now, let's
yeah,
rebuild it.
yeah.
Okay,
Small.
now it's taking a bit longer. It's taking a bit longer because we put some color. Oops. And now look at the wall.
Yeah. It's all
It's
red.
everything red. Yeah.
The bounce.
All right.
So
So
even like if I do interiors, should I always build the light, or that's for that's the purpose of that is when it's bake only, no? That's why you're building always the lights.
yes, only when we bake, we build the light.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's build the light back to white.
Wait.
All right. So now let's cover the reflections. So let's add a chromatic sphere here, just in the middle. Let's search chrome, metal chrome. So I have a metal chrome here that I have added. Um, this is actually a chromatic bulb, as we can see here. But in the scene, it doesn't look reflective at all. The reason for this is because we don't have a reflection capture. We need to add the sphere reflection capture, which is a little sphere. Okay, and once we add these capsules, okay, and let's build the light. Okay, so now I've built the reflections, and we can see that there is a bit more of reflection, but it's still not a lot. I'm actually going to add another hue here. I'm going to create a material, call it chrome. Actually, no, this black material that I have here is already going to do the job because it's reflective.
Those are reflection probes, right?
Yes,
Those.
correct. Now you might ask, well, do I need to add a probe literally in front of every reflection in my scene? And the answer is it depends. If you have some reflections that for sure you know the player is going to see, like maybe some mirrors in as you're entering a house, then yes, you want to add some probes there. But if there's like a reflection of a window that's very far away and the player is never gonna get close, then you probably shouldn't add a sphere reflection capture. Okay, so now I'm going to delete these probes. Okay, okay,
What if it is a tall mirror? Should it be more probes, or one is enough?
only one.
Only one of it.
Like, don't stack them together. Leave a minimum like of 1 meter of space minimum.
Mm.
So we have seen now the reflection sphere reflection captures, but there are also planar sphere reflections.
Oh.
Okay, and this
Ah.
is literally If we get
Mirror.
this, it's a mirror, correct.
Yeah.
It's it's a mirror. And this sphere reflection, this planar reflection, usually you add it on like mirrors, literally mirrors. Okay. Okay, so you have seen the sphere reflection capture, which is this one. There is another component that I have shown you in the past, which is basically a sphere reflection capture that is huge,
Yeah.
and it takes reflections and colors from outside as well. Do you know what that component is called?
Mm, HDRI.
No,
Refraction.
no. I'll give you a hint. It's a component that
Lightmass.
no. It's a component that or an actor that when you create automatically like the lighting system, it adds it for you.
The spear.
No,
Light spear like that. No.
no. Let's see if we can see it here.
Sky.
What did you say?
Sky. But
Skylight.
oh, skylight. Okay.
The skylight.
Okay.
So a skylight, I'm gonna click on it. The skylight is basically, I like to call it like a huge reflection capture that occupies the whole globe.
Oh.
Okay? And in fact, now the skylight is on movable mode. So by default, the skylight works with lumen. But just like we went to the post process and set the values to none, so to use bake light, with skylight we need to do the same thing. If we want baked light with the skylight, we need to set this to static, okay? And that's it. So even if we took these probes away, okay, these reflections will still be all right.
Yeah, yeah. It's more realistic now.
No, it's the same. It's about the same. But now this is the sky distance threshold. So this, the radius of the skylight is this much, 150,000 units. And for the reflection capture, well, it's very small. It's probably like only 1 unit, okay? Or 3,000. It's 3,000 units. So we can actually change the sky distance threshold. So it focuses more in this area, okay? This lower hemisphere color right now is black. You see? So usually you want to set this to white. Okay? Don't ask me why exactly. It's just I remember from my old teacher telling me this. Because the fog at the end, if it's black, it's not going to render it well. So you're just going to leave that white. Okay, so and now we can build reflection capture and build light. Well, if you have an HDRI image and a skylight, what's going to happen is that the skylight is not going to get the colors from the HDRI backdrop. So what you need to do is go inside of the skylight here and change this from SLS capture scene to SLS specified cube map. And here choose the HDRI. Okay, this is what you need to do if you're going to use HDRI. Okay, make sure that the skylight is using the HDRI as cube map. Okay, now that I chose this, now that I made the skylight smaller and I changed this to white color, we can see that reflection is super nice.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Any questions until here?
So far no.
Okay, so far good. That's pretty much it for CPU light building. Okay,
Mm.
CPU, which we have covered already. Okay,
Mm.
the CPU,
CPU
we need
maybe.
a light map. For the GPU, we also need a light map.
Okay.
And the GPU uses the graphics.
Yeah.
The GPU is graphics processing unit. So, in other words, your RTX card.
Mm.
So, basically, it's going to use a combination of CPU and the graphics card. So, this means that we need to activate the ray tracing hardware. And we do this in the settings. Okay? Here, we do not need to activate the RTX for the CPU, but for the GPU, we need. We also need to make sure that we enable some settings in order to make this work and also enable a plugin. Okay?
What plugin?
A plugin called GPU Lightmass, which is here actually. Ah, it's not. GPU Lightmass, it's called. Apart from activating this plugin, as I said, we need to activate some options within the settings, such as using DirectX 12 and not 11.
So it's we need to download. No.
We just need to enable one plugin and change four settings. That's all we
So
have to do.
this DirectX you mean is on Unreal, not outside the,
Yeah,
not on the Windows.
the DirectX is on the Windows, but Unreal Engine can choose between using 11 or 12 sometimes.
Mm. Mm. So
Okay,
within Unreal,
so
within
we
Unreal.
want to make sure that the 12 that is using the 12, which usually it should be set by default. Okay,
Mm.
okay, we go to plugins. Plugins, we search GPU Lite, and this is the plugin that you need to enable. When you enable, it's gonna tell you, hey, you need to be careful when using beta plugins because for development, this can cause a problem. But we're gonna ignore it because I have been using this for many years, and even though it's beta, it's stable. Okay, so enable this. Once we've enabled this, we go to the project settings and we search ray tracing. We want to make sure that support hardware ray tracing is enabled. Once we've done this, we're going to search RHI and we're going to scroll all the way down when we search RHI and we want to make sure that the default RHI is DirectX 12. And you want to make sure that the first three checkboxes enable virtual texture support, enable virtual texture and texture import, enable virtual texture light maps are enabled.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm.
all right. So just like the CPU uh, light build, you want to make sure that you have a good light map to all of the objects. So you can press Alt 0 and you can see all of the light maps here, all corresponding to different types of colors. So maybe this one is too high, so I'm going to reduce the light map quality to 480, for instance. Okay. So let's say that I'm happy now. I'm going to start building the lights. So if we go up to build and we scroll down, we can see an option that says GPU Lightmass. So we can press now this button, which it didn't appear before. It appeared now because I activated the plugin. So if I press on it, this window is going to pop up where I have different settings here. But most importantly are these two buttons, the button on the left and the button on the right. Because if this checkbox is enabled, which says viewport real time is on, what this allows me to do now is to build the light, okay, and in real time see how the light is being built. So this is pretty good because I mean I can duplicate objects and I can have a bit more of control. Like, okay, I want this area to be darker, and I don't want to wait until the light gets built to see how dark I want this area to be. So I'm gonna bring some objects down here, duplicate, okay, create more of a darker area, okay. And now we can see that on the bottom right, the light is being built in slow mode. The reason why it's in slow mode, because real time is on. But if I uncheck this option, it's gonna go exponentially faster.
What did
So
you uncheck again?
I just unchecked the option of real time. This
Mm,
one I unchecked it, and the build time is exponentially quicker.
mm,
So to build light is way better already than the CPU because it's very quick. And secondly, you have this option that you can see in real time how the light is being baked. So we can have and modify other values here. So we can decide like maybe you don't want to do a full bake. You only want to bake the area that you're seeing to save up time. Like I want to see how this corner is going to bake. So I can just check that option, bake what you see. And if you press here, it's only going to bake literally what I see, not what I don't see. But if I turn around, then light is going to bake everywhere. Okay. Once again, if you uncheck this button here, the light is going to be very quick. Compress light maps. If you disable this option here, the quality will be like will be better, but the size will be 4 times greater. If we read here whether to compress the lightmap textures, disabling the lightmap texture compression will reduce the artifacts but increase memory and disk size by 4. So be careful when to disable this. You would only disable like in the final production, final lighting, okay? We don't need to touch anything about the denoiser, and this is where the fun comes in. The global illumination samples. So we can choose how many little samples, how many photons are calculated in the environment.
mm.
So the more photons we add, the better quality the the scene will be, and the shadows, reflections, and so on. So if we choose like 2056, for instance, I don't know why I chose this number, and maybe 248 of this value. Okay, I'm gonna uncheck the light maps also to increase the quality. And this option is called use first bounce rate guiding. So if this is enabled, this option is good for Windows because it will touch a surface and move towards where the light is going. So, like in a window, light is going to go through it in a refractive manner. So, light bounce uh, should go to the direction where the light is scattered. So, this is a good option to enable also. And also, when you enable, this appears now also. This enables. So, okay, the more quality we put, obviously, the better. We're not gonna go super crazy either, so let's just try with these values, okay? And bake. And disable this option so the bake is quick. So also you're gonna notice that when you bake the light using the GPU Lightmass, we no longer
Shoot.
uh, I think we no longer have access to the swarm agent. Yeah, we don't.
I saw that there's a quality for the light maps,
Uh-huh.
right? Where do I find it? Like,
Outside in the scene, if you click Alt 0, yeah, this is how to visualize the light maps. And if you press on it and you go in the details, you can search here the light map quality.
yeah, that's what.
There you go.
Now this one.
Yeah.
Uh, if I really like to do like hyper realistic
Hmm.
render,
Yeah.
so 64 I could increase it, like even if it takes time, it's okay, no?
Yeah.
Like,
Do like 256. Try.
yeah.
But the color should never be red. Maximum should be like green.
But if I wanted really super realistic, even if it's red, it's not possible,
The thing
or
is,
it will really take time. That's
even
what.
even if you put red, there's a point where it's not gonna get better. Okay,
Okay. Because it's already there, no? I mean,
it's
it already hit the best.
exactly. It
Okay,
already
okay.
hit the best. The only thing that's gonna do is just take more time for rendering.
Yes,
But you can
yes.
also do some experiments, like get the same wall, uh, or like do put
One wall.
multiple
Yeah, yeah,
sticks with different qualities ranging from 10 to 1000, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you can see where the margin is where it doesn't get better, okay?
Yes.
But also that will depend on the light map as well, because if the light map is covering the whole area, then or a lot of area is going to be better quality than if it's not, you
Yeah.
know.
So also, if the scene is letter L shape, because these are box, right?
Yeah.
So the light mass importance volume are always square, or can we edit this also? For example, the plan is letter L, like a room is letter L,
Yes.
like shape.
Good question.
Should it be like square, or should be around the?
Well, what I would do is literally get the light mass importance volume and put it covering the whole house.
Okay,
Whole
okay,
house.
yeah,
Okay?
yeah,
And if there's like a huge garden, don't cover the huge garden. Only cover the house, like the
yeah.
important. Because think about it this way, interiors have a lot of walls. If it has a lot of walls, that means that light is going to be bounced a lot. But
Yeah.
outdoor light, when it bounces a surface that's flat, it bounces up to the air infinite. So it doesn't do any more calculation. But indoor, it's more complex, the lighting,
Yes.
because it has to bounce more. So I would just add the importance mass volume
To the
covering
interior.
interiors, the house itself. Okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it.
We have seen um, the CPU build. Now we have seen the GPU build, which requires ray tracing and all these features to be activated. Now, there's an option that got activated, which is the path tracing.
Mm.
This option got activated because we activated the ray tracing feature, and the path tracer is